Go. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Very, very happy and blessed new year to everybody here. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us on the first day of 2026. I'm so excited, Ed. I'm grateful that
Me
you can
too.
be here as well. Yeah. So I'm just going to start out and give a little introduction to myself and then to Ed, and we will dive right in, and we'll hear from Ed, like what he's seen most recently at the end of the year going into next year. He is on a lot of calls. And then Ed, I might have some specific questions for you along the way that people are asking now and again, and then we'll open
Cool.
it up at the end, yep, for Q&A. And you can hold your questions, or if you think of something, type it in the chat. And if there's a place to fit it in before the end, I will certainly do that. And for starters, though, I'm going to share very, very starters, just a disclaimer here that I should be doing that I'm sure you all have seen before. Just so everybody knows that this presentation, let me just, oh, you're seeing my whole screen. Let me see here.
Yeah, we see it.
Okay.
Uh-oh, lost.
Yeah, just for educational and informational purposes, you guys, Ed and I are not brokers or licensed financial advisors, so this is not financial advice. We're just sharing a technology. It's one of actually the reasons I love this technology from Ed is it's a software tool. You always maintain control of your funds and in your Coinbase or Kraken account, so this is just a tool that executes trades on your behalf, and we're going to dive in and look exactly at how all of that works. So
Yeah, I'm
just
real excited to explain the software.
yeah. So Ed, we have a pretty varied group here today from of course, your wonderful subscribers, our clients, and some folks from various meetup groups as well, from women investors to folks that are very interested in AI and data processing and hands-free alternatives to kind of manage our wealth and empowerment. So very exciting. And so, for starters, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Francine Lumiller, and I actually spent close to 20 years in the institutional financial industry, mostly trading stocks for global hedge funds and mutual funds for several years. And long story short, we fast forward, I jumped into crypto about 4 or 5 years ago. And I know there's a lot of money to be made in trading. I'm a market technician. I just didn't want to do it anymore. So I was looking for tools and things that could help me along with that. In addition to, we had a mastermind and some friends, and I was introduced to Ed in April of 2024. And I had already been experimenting with bots that would, error message would pop up and it would just shut down. And I think it's trading, it's not trading. You run out of money. They take, gosh, 30 to 50% of your profits. So I was just really frustrated and still having to micromanage that stuff. And when I met Ed and looked at what he was doing, I was like, wow, this is pretty interesting. And then Ed will always say, I love the AI because when I found to Ed, this AI is a bell and a whistle, and we'll talk about that. But for me, when I learned that 27 technical indicators are programmed into the AI, so I didn't have to stare at charts anymore. It's all already in there with 25 years of learning. I'm like, okay, this is amazing. So anyway, and then we have Ed, who I just want you guys to have an understanding, of Ed's background a little bit. And what we have here today is, and I shared a little bit of that on my registration page, but Ed was
Uh-oh,
actually a programmer in the Navy for 8 years, and after that, he works for federal government in nuclear engineering. Those guys did pretty remarkable stuff. He
Can't you
became
tell how I glow in the dark?
Yeah. He became head developer and cranked out like over 100 programs in 2 years. Those guys worked 20-hour days nonstop, cranking out code. And he was actually at Microsoft after that. At the beginning, he was one of the first 350 programmers, software engineers, and for about 8.5 years, went to worldwide operations, became a manager there with over like 300 people below him and managers below him. His responsibilities went through the roof. He was gathering stock options. At that point, it was like, why am I still working? So he was blessed to be able to retire at the ripe old age of 39 in
Yeah, I was an
1995.
old man.
Yeah, an old man. And like everybody, he had a lot of his capital invested in the tech stocks, right? That's what everyone was doing. And so when the 2000 crash occurred, the dot-com bubble blew up, he lost 60% of his net worth. And he just said, "You mess with the wrong guy. I'm gonna figure out how to automate these markets and prove they're just numbers going up and down on the screen." So, and help the little guy, right? A lot of people got crushed during that time. So Ed was sitting at prop desks. He was looking at charts. He was doing all of that work and built this thing out for stocks 25 years ago and was giving them away for years to people, these auto traders. So he has a pretty interesting story. Very passionate. He's very passionate about this technology. You'll hear that on the call because it's helping a lot of people. And so that's Ed. That's who he is, and we love him for bringing this to us. And let's get started, Ed. So why don't we just jump in
Well,
and why
you
don't
already said it all. I can go now.
I know. Yeah, thanks for being here. And just yeah, so tell us a little bit about where we're at the end of the year. What are you seeing? And then we'll jump
I'm
into
excited.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I got a piece of hair in my mouth. What color hair is that? Blonde. Um, I well, where was I? You said you threw me when you said AI is a bell and a whistle. That's how
Yeah.
I look at AI. I've been doing AI for so many years. It's just a tool.
Hmm.
It's just instead of looking at you looking at charts and looking for patterns and all, the AI does it. That's all.
Hmm.
It's not, the auto trader is the star of the dish. The auto trader itself chases the money, and the AI just lets you know if it thinks the coin's going to go higher or lower, really in a short matter of time, like in the next 20 to 30 minutes. AI can't even tell you what it's going to do a day in advance or anything like that. So it's not that great. Everyone, when I hear about these bots out there, oh, we got an AI trader, an AI bot, and all that, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Show me what's so magical about it. And then I go to their websites and I don't see anything. I'm like, well, what happened to you got this AI bot that's supposed to be so great? I've had AI in my traders for 25 years. I never bragged about them. I mean, it's a nice little add-on. It's a nice little tool to add on to the trader. The trader will run fine without it, you know? So, it's interesting how they brag about the AI. It's the money
Hmm.
management and the risk management that, how the auto trader deals with money,
Hmm.
that sets it apart from everyone else. Most people want to just go in and watch stuff go straight up, and I never talk about anything going up.
Hmm.
Anytime I talk about it, I've got my smart water prop here. I like this because it's got this big long bottle, but most people want to go in all up at the top, and then when the coins go lower, they don't know what to do. No one ever, I've never seen anybody talk about, I bought it up here and then the coin went down. They never talk about that, and that's all I talk about. Have you noticed that, Greg? Greg,
Yeah,
have you noticed that's all I talk about is when it goes down? You
yeah,
know, I mean,
that's it.
it's all about what it's going to do when it goes down, not when it goes
Hmm.
up. If it goes up, sell it and take money. I mean, what are you thinking about? People are overthinking this stuff. They're actually. I mean, I saw a lot of people selling. Not in Go Baby Trade, but so many people I read on the internet, they were saying they were selling their positions at a loss, and I'm like, why? They were saying tax loss. What did they call it? Tax loss harvesting, or I didn't
Oh,
even understand it.
yeah,
So you
yeah.
sold all your positions that you bought up here, you sold them all down here, so you could somehow lock in a loss for taxes. You don't need to do that. Definitely don't do that. Selling your positions at a loss makes no sense at all. Because the way we trade like this is these a few important things here to look at how trading happens. If you buy it up here and the price goes, let's say the price goes all the way to the bottom here, and you buy more at the bottom. Now, if the price goes up a little here down at the bottom and you sell the bottom one at a profit, you sell it when it went up and you sell this one at a profit. You're still holding these that you bought up here. Don't worry about those. But it went down to the bottom, it went up higher, and you sold it and you sold the bottom one for a profit. But the broker, the exchange, Coinbase or Kraken, they're gonna, when you sell it here at the bottom down here, they're gonna tell, they're gonna log it on their side as if you sold the one at the top. So they're gonna log it as a big fat loss. So that's for
Mhm.
tax purposes. So you still sold the one that you, let's just say you bought it at 10, it went to 1, it went, and then it went from 1 to 2, and you sold the one that you bought at 1, you sold it at 2. You know, you sold it at a profit. There's no denying that. Money, it's real. But they're going to log it as a loss. They're going to say you sold the one that you bought at 10,
Mhm.
you sold it at 2. That's
First
called
in, first
FIFO, first in,
Mhm.
first out. This is the first one you bought. Or sometimes you'll buy it a little lower and then it'll go up higher and they'll call that HIFO, highest in, first out, which is even better. So they're always selling the highest one you own. They're logging it as a big fat loss for IR for taxes. But but we're still selling it profitably. Anytime it wiggles, we're buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. No matter where it goes, we're always taking profits.
Mhm.
And they can't stop you from taking profits. Once you get that, once you understand that, you realize it's literally free money for life.
Well,
I
and
used to.
you hold the
Mhm.
higher positions, right, Ed? Those never we
We're
just hang
still
on to those.
holding that
Yeah.
highest one, but they log in on their side as if we sold it. It doesn't matter. They don't know what we're doing on our side. They're logging as many losers as they can. So if you go to like Coinbase and look at your trades, you go, look at all those losses. It's like, yes, that's great for the IRS. You don't want to be paying taxes if you don't have to. So it's HIFO, highest in, first out, versus LIFO, last in, first out. The last one bought was the bottom one. So if it goes down, that's the last one you bought is down here, and then when it goes up a little, you sell it. Last in, first
Mhm.
out. That's the last one you bought is the first one you sell. And so
Yep.
you're always taking profits no matter where it goes. When I'm wiggling my hand, it's like all that free money. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. And some of you have already seen me. Mind if I share my screen real fast?
Oh, go ahead, Ed. And I'm glad you addressed that because I do get that question asked a lot, like about the taxes thing. And my thing is always like, would you rather pay taxes and be making money than not? But here, the way that Coinbase logs it, I think you've said that you like rarely ever pay taxes.
I mean, it's the greatest thing. We've been on a downtrend for 4 years. That
Mhm.
means like a 12-cent coin has gone all the way down to under a penny. And while it was going down, I mean, I can look at my trader here for a second. I don't really like to go into the trader too early because I want to explain things because that's the most
Mhm.
important thing is understanding how things work. Because once you get it, you can never unget it. Like
Right.
this, like Alchemy Pay here. 4 years ago, it was at 12 cents. Now it's under a penny. The current ask price is under a penny. You think that's bad. Now, for most people, if they bought at 12 cents and it's under a penny now, it's all the way down here. They're down and they're dying and they're just selling it at a loss because they got to wait forever for it to go back to 12 cents. They're not buying and selling along the way. The wiggles is where the money is. You can see here, I've taken 151,000 in profits in closed trades on the wiggles, buy, sell, buy, sell. I'm down 91,000 on the open inventory that I'm still sitting on that was bought at higher prices. So that's still a $59,000 profit. It really is, this all happened that really all this was all blue. Everything was great until a few months ago when the market really started tanking near the end of the year. And I'm like, hey, if you love Microsoft at 500, you got to love Microsoft at $1. And that's how
Mhm.
I look at it. These discounts we're getting are unprecedented. This is crazy. And you have to ask yourself, I internalize things. I don't say I'm down, I'm down, I'm down. If you're down, it's only because the coin prices are down. When the coin price goes down, your inventory that you're sitting on goes down in value. You still own the positions, and that brings your account value down. And that's the first lesson is stop looking at the account value. It's misleading because you're
Hmm.
sitting on all these positions in these really, really, to me, great companies. And, and they have no business being down in the first place. I mean, these are multi-million dollar companies. There's no way like ACH should be under a penny. And the graph, GRT should be at three and a half cents. That's a joke if I ever saw one. It's like what an opportunity to be able to buy it. I mean, would you buy Microsoft at $1? How many shares would you buy? As many as you could, right? I used to, when I presented to live audiences, I used to say, do you think Bank of America is going to go out of business? At that time, about 2012, I think it was like $10 a share. I'd say to the audience, do you think Bank of America is going to go out of business? And people would say no. Then I'm like, trade the heck out of it. It's free money. Because all it's doing is this, up and down. Silver, same thing. For 20 years, I've been telling people, trade SLV in the stock market. I have clients right now that have been trading, that have been still trading my traders all these years and only trading stocks in the stock market and only trading one symbol, SLV, silver. And they just take and take and take on 2% moves up and down forever. And now recently it's ran to $70 a share, which is amazing. But it didn't matter that it went up. They were still doubling their money every few years. It was so easy. It was just again, I call the market an insult to humanity. But I mean, it's the simplest game in town. And the problem is people are doing it all wrong. They're gambling. And I'm like, you don't have to gamble. It's free money. They've set it up. You're not gambling any more than a 7-Eleven is gambling. They put product on the shelf and they sell it at a higher price. So if you're calling this gambling, then you're calling all commerce gambling. All commerce. I didn't invent commerce. It's been around for thousands of years. If you're running a store, you bought something at one price, you sold it at a higher price. It's all about money management.
Hmm.
A
Yeah.
perfect example of money management is my brother, years ago. This is before the internet and all, before these computers. He had an arcade. He owned an arcade right next to a movie theater. And all the kids would, they had all the games in there, right? All the kids would pile in there before they go to the movies, putting those quarters in the machines, and then the movie would start and they'd run over to the movie theater. And and he was making a fortune. But here's what Junior was doing. Every day he was taking all the money out of the machines and spending it. So what do you think happened at the end of the month? He doesn't have any money to pay the rent. He doesn't have any money to pay for the electricity. I'm like, you're an idiot, man. That's called poor money management. And the thing is, I laugh about it, but it's like that's how millions of people are. They don't think ahead. I mean, and that's what's nice about the software is it's doing all the thinking. It's doing all the money management. So what
Yeah.
I wanted to show you this was I presented to an audience I was doing an AI training class to a bunch 80 developers. There were 80 people in the room, and I flew to North Carolina, and I just did it for free. I was teaching them how to program AI, but there was a whiteboard there, so I'm like a magnet to a whiteboard, right? So I went to the whiteboard and I drew a rudimentary picture of a bucket and a well. Again, I wanted to show the concept. And I simply said, if the bucket goes from the top to the bottom and gets the water and goes back up and dumps it out, and it keeps repeating that, it can't go halfway down and go back up. There won't be any water in the bucket. So it's got to go all the way to the bottom and get the water and all the way back up and dump it out. So I said, how much water can the well pump in a lifetime? And they threw out all kinds of numbers. 1 million gallons, 1 billion gallons, 1 trillion gallons even, right? And I'm looking around and there are 80 people in this room and I'm looking for anybody that looks like any objections here. Everybody was fine with those numbers. So then I said, well, let's look at the crypto market. What if it just goes down a little and you buy and it goes up a little and you sell? And you just keep pumping money. And no matter where it goes, even if it goes lower, hold that one and pump money here. Just pump money here, up and down, and just keep pumping money. Doesn't it just goes down a little, up a little, pump money, down a little, up a little, free money, down a little, up a little, free money. How much money can that pump in a lifetime? Because it doesn't matter where it goes. If it when it's down here, it might go all the way back up. Or like you get these big runs like L3 a couple of weeks ago went up 150% in one day. I've seen coins go up 50% or 100%. They're just jumping around. How much money can that pump? I said. If it's just the crypto market and it's just moving around, moving up and down. Doesn't have to go to the bottom, doesn't have to go to the top. I didn't say buy at the bottom and sell at the top. I just said buy it anywhere and sell it 3% higher. How much money can that pump? And then it was funny because I'm looking around because you see me turning my head right now because that's what I did then. I'm looking at the audience spanning that room. No answers. And finally, one guy spoke up. He goes, "There's no way that could be real." I love it because there's no way it can't be real. And I love to hear that stuff because it educates me on how the brain, how the public thinks. I'm like, they don't see the obvious. And that's been my challenge for 25 years now. The software is not the challenge. I've been programming for, I hate to say it, 50 years now, since 74. I must be like 1,000 years old, right? And it's all so second nature and it's so obvious, and but yet the public doesn't seem to see it. No matter where I go, people don't see the obvious. And I could go anywhere and just mention crypto and they right away look the other way. They don't even know what a crypto is, and I'm like, man, they are out of it. And I've been doing a lot of reading, and lately I've discovered that 95% of the crypto out there is owned by the big companies like BlackRock, Fidelity, Vanguard, Trump, Tom Brady, all the rich people are loading up like crazy. Probably Pelosi is probably loaded up on crypto. I don't even know. But but what's interesting is they didn't buy it all at the bottom because they were buying over the last 4 years while it was trending lower. But they haven't been selling it along the way like we have. Like our trader just keeps buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling forever. And we just keep taking money. But if it goes lower, we accumulate, which is good. So we're doing what they're doing, only we're doing it better because we're taking the profits along the way. We're not just
Mhm.
letting it go lower, lower, lower.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's interesting. So they didn't buy it at the bottom. They've been buying it all along because they know this market is going to come back. It's not the end of the crypto world. And that's where what's interesting. This is where I was saying about it. I don't internalize it. I don't say I'm down, I'm down. Like most
Mhm.
people say that I'm down. It's like, gee, everybody's down if that's the case. I mean, everybody's
Yeah.
down. Anybody that bought crypto a week ago is down. Anybody that bought crypto 2 weeks ago is down because the coins have been just going lower. You see the down days. It's okay. Oh, down is good. You can't
Right.
buy enough crypto. And I say a well-seasoned auto trader has a ton of inventory. You
Yeah.
want a lot of inventory. Inventory's good. You
Well,
don't
and
want
you've
to have
talked,
empty shelves if you're running a store. If you have
yeah.
empty shelves in your store, you're losing money.
And you talked to Ed about those guys manipulating the markets too. Like they're buying on the way down and they pull out their support, trying to scare the public out of the market and these lower
Well, that's what's
prices. So
happening. They're
yeah.
scaring people to death. I mention crypto everywhere, and that's one of the advantages that I've had in the stock market over the last 25 years is because I have thousands of clients using my software, sharing with me. I don't have to make 1,000 mistakes. But if you're sitting at home by yourself and you're trying to trade the market, first you make one mistake and lose all your money. Then you got to make another, and then you try something else, and you make another mistake and lose all your money.
Hmm.
I mean, I talk to so many people. I see everything that works and everything that doesn't work. And all through the years, I mean, I used to have 10 screens of things you could do in my software. 10
Hmm.
screens worth of ways to blow yourself up and
Yeah.
of people doing stuff that didn't work, and I could filter all that out and get rid of it and get it out of the traders. So now
Mhm.
after 25 years of doing this, which is crazy, 25 years sounds so long. I mean, doesn't it? When I say it, it just blows my mind. I can't believe I've been
Mhm.
doing it one project for 25 years. Think of all
Mhm.
the projects I did for Microsoft, for the government, in nuclear engineering, in the Navy, all that programming I did. And here I come, and I've been doing one thing for 25 years, conquer the market and make
Yeah.
it better and better and better. And that's what I think they never planned on,
Yeah.
because the market is such an insult to humanity. It's the simplest thing in the whole world. There is
Well,
nothing simpler. Changing your oil in a Range Rover is more complicated than the crypto market.
well, I love what you said too, Ed, when you took, you used to have 10 screens of how people could blow themselves up. So everybody knows that it used to be a downloadable software in the past that you would download to your computer, and it had so many, like the charts and the technical indicators, programming, the signals, like all the stuff. Ed would just give people what they wanted, and it was a huge program, and it took up a lot of space on people's computers. So, after
Right.
E-Trade, Ameritrade, some of the largest online brokers reached out to them for his software. He had like automated those guys. He had thousands of clients, and he ended up selling that company to a hedge fund in what, around 2018, Ed. And then, folks have
Yeah.
been asking him to automate the crypto market since probably 2017 or so. And you finally did
Oh, I
it in
ignored people in
2021.
2017. People were asking me to automate the
Yeah.
crypto market in 2017, but I was too busy with the stock market.
Yeah.
That software. And that's why I sold that company off in 2018, the downloadable software, because I had clients all over the world. I had 40 support people, and we were like the geek squad. If somebody had a problem with their computer, they were calling us. I'm like, why are you calling me? Your problem has nothing to do with my software,
Hmm.
so, but once I went web-based. When I rewrote the software, I went web-based. That means all the auto traders are running on my servers. And that turned out to be a godsend. That's the way to do it. Because internally things fly on an intranet, data flies. And then the auto trader can only has to do one thing, money management and chasing the money, chasing the price, chasing profits. Whereas I have other programs on other servers feeding data, multiple data feeds, feeding data to the auto trader. AI runs on 4 separate servers by itself, feeding data to the auto trader. So the auto trader doesn't have to do any of that number crunching. It could just sit back and chase money. And that's basically what it does. And I mean, you can see down here today's profit, $655. Shiba Inu made a little move there, and I took free money. It's like, thanks. I mean, I didn't
Hmm.
even know I made that until now, until I did this webinar. I don't even bother. It doesn't, I mean, once you've had an auto trader and it's just cranking out money all the time. I mean, a few weeks ago, I found a dollar bill on the ground. I came out of Sprouts. That's a grocery store, and it was a dollar blue right in front of me, and it was all stepped on, and it looked like 100 people stepped on it. And it was already all folded up, so I just took it and I threw it in my wallet. I still have it in my wallet. You want me to go get it just to show it to you?
No,
I
it's
mean, it's
okay.
right over there, right over there on the desk. I'm gonna go
Oh,
get it real fast.
oh.
I don't want you to think I'm lying to you.
Oh, I know. We want to see all the good stuff here. So I'll just tell you guys, this is a screen for this isn't the actual auto trader. Of course, the auto trader itself is in the cloud with millions of lines of code. This is an interface so you can actually see what's going on. And you can see down the left side, Ed will go over that in a minute, and across the top here we'll explain that. But let's see it, Ed.
Look at how this thing looks. I mean, it's just all folded up, and I didn't even unfold it. There could be $100 bill mixed in with it. I don't know. But this thing's been stepped on a million times. I mean, it's
It's
just all,
funny.
it feels all, greasy and
So
it's
free
crazy.
money.
I call it my good luck dollar bill. I mean, it's
Yeah,
crazy. But
that's funny.
that dollar, it it just makes me so much more excited than all the free money I'm getting in the crypto market. I mean, I don't even think about this money. I mean, look at all these trades here, all this free money, 9.7. 9/8, 9/10, 9/11, 9/12, multiple sales on 9/12. And these are like crummy days, the market's been crummy, lately, it's been just a lot of down days. But, so you accumulate, you see these are all buys on down days. And then whenever there's a price, you can see those are all when you're selling. And here's where the AI comes in. I don't use AI to tell me when to buy or when to sell. When the software says it's time to buy more, you see it says added to declining position. When it's time to buy more, the software says, I'm going to buy more now. If the price went lower, it's time to buy. Then it calls the AI. It doesn't call the AI before that. So it calls the AI and says, what do you think? Do you think it's going to go lower? If AI comes back and says it's going to go lower in the next few minutes, based on pattern recognition, that it's been looking at building patterns for 25 years, if it thinks it's going to go lower, then the software will wait. So that's when you'll see the AI at the end of it. And it's the same way when you're getting ready to sell. Let's go. Like here, profit goal reached here. When the software says that it's gone, the price has gone higher. The software says, I want to sell it and take profit. If the AI doesn't think it's going to go higher, like within the next 30 minutes, then the software will go ahead and just take the profit. Otherwise, if the AI says, I believe it's going to go higher, then you'll see AI on your screen. And it'll actually say on the screen that this coin, right on this screen here, if you click on the plus, I expanded these windows. I expanded it, and it tells me when the next buy is, or the next buy here. It'll tell you right on there that AI is blocking that trade if AI is getting involved in the trade. So this
Mm-hmm.
is telling me when like GRT, it's saying if the current price, it says current bid price is right here, 355.0355, it's got to drop to 0268. The software already knows when it's going to buy more based
Mm-hmm.
on,
Yeah, but
money
it calls the
management.
AI up
Money
first.
management's the most important thing. Without money management, you're just gambling. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what most people do. They just go all in and they don't know what they're doing. I mean, I live in Vegas, right? Las Vegas, and I go to casinos to cut through to get to the buffet in the back. I don't go to there to gamble, just to cut through to get to the buffet in the back. If you ever been to South Point Casino, you got to
Yeah.
pass up all these craps tables and roulette. And sometimes I'll just stop and I'll look at one person and watch their bets. And I watch what they bet. And I'm like, they have no strategy. They don't have a strategy. I'm watching them. They're betting the same amount of money. They're plotting numbers, plotting chips all over the place.
Just
Goodbye. You
hoping
don't
and
even know what
prayer.
you're doing, man. You're just gambling. And I wouldn't look at that craps table like it's gambling. However, to be honest, I wouldn't feel safe in there either. The way
Mm-hmm.
I bet, they're gonna probably kick me out,
Well,
because
and
they're gonna say this guy's playing too much strategy. I did go to a casino back, and I remember I was in the Navy, and on vacation, and I went to Caesar's Palace, and I was playing craps. And the guy asked me, when do you raise your bet? How do you know when to raise your bet? Because he noticed I was betting $1, and then later on it went to $2. Anyways, so
Mhm.
I didn't feel safe actually. I was thinking, man, if I put real money on this table, they are gonna kick me out for sure.
Yeah, you have a
So I've been,
unique way of thinking. Yep.
and it's interesting mentioning that I went there in '77. It's like, have I always been thinking like I'm thinking? I can
Hmm.
tell you what happened when I lived in the inner city of Chicago growing up, and my older brother, that was a different brother than Junior. He was working in a Texaco gas station, and I was hanging out in the gas station. I was 12 years old, and I picked up a farmer's almanac that they had in there, and I was looking through this thing, and I'm like, they can predict the weather based on history, man. I don't believe this. Man, I'm just thumbing through there, and I've been watching it for years. They're phenomenally accurate. and they could tell you how many people are going to die over a Labor Day weekend in car accidents and be within
Mhm.
500. They predicted 500 and 505 people died. I'm like, that is absolutely remarkable. And that's
It
what
is.
stats will tell you. It's amazing. So I've always been on thinking along these lines all my life. So, and then when the
Good.
stock market came along, I'm like, this is exactly, and man, this is right up my alley. I was born for this.
Well, let's look at the page, Ed, where we actually see the money management settings and, kind of the back end where
Sure.
people, the default settings, and
So
that
this is
trade
your
window is
trader.
important. Yeah.
So this is your trader. This is what you see every day, and
Mhm.
you can bring it up in Safari on your cell phone, on the internet. I mean, on wherever you go, you can see how your trader's doing. Um, on this side, it just shows there's videos on every page, like view videos. You don't see the server it's running on. Every time you log in, it's actually jumping around to different servers. You don't know where your auto trader's running on the intranet. That's all automated. The servers automatically balance themselves. I mean, I've been doing this a lot of years. I've really fine-tuned everything. I mean, I could die, the servers will keep running. You don't have to worry.
You and your
Um,
son Steve, Steven would take over, huh?
yeah. And it shows you today's profits. People will ask, how come I don't have any today's profits on some days? And I'm looking at today's move and I'm like, everything's negative. I'm like, well, you're not going to sell anything on a down day. If everything's going down, what are you going to sell? You can see some of you have an auto trader. You already know that. You're not going to if you bought it up here and the price went down, you're not going to sell it. So,
Mhm.
we never sell at a loss. My original traders actually all the way back in 2000 and 2001 that is. They had I had an indicator in there called lock-in loss. And somebody called me and said, "What is that lock-in loss indicator?" I said, "Well, that's if you bought something at a higher price and the price went down and you want to lock in that loss." He said, "Isn't that a stop loss?" I said, "What's a stop loss?" He said, "Well, that's if you buy it at a higher price and the price goes down and you want to stop the loss." I said, "You didn't stop anything, man. You just locked in that loss."
Right.
You mean you're afraid it's going to keep going lower? What are you doing in that stock if you're worried about that? Are you worried that Microsoft's going to go out of business when you buy it?
Hmm.
It's
Interesting.
amazing. So anyways, we don't have stop losses in here. Think of it logically. Let's go back to the bucket Noel. It makes no sense to sell it at a loss down here after I bought it all up here. Because it doesn't matter where it goes. I'm going to make the same amount of money per trade up here, or as I will if the coin drops 80% lower and it's still going up and down. I'm going to still make the same amount of money on that trade. So it doesn't even matter where it goes. The secret is keep pumping money. Somebody said the market, somebody actually said this on the internet, like on Facebook or LinkedIn. Somebody said the crypto market's too volatile, man. It's too dangerous. I said, I mean, he said that's gambling. And I said, then you're saying every 7-Eleven out there is gambling because high volatility is what it's all about. You want stuff on your shelf that turns inventory. I don't want to sell Lysol in my 7-Eleven. Nobody's going to buy it. Some of you older folks would laugh about that because some of the younger people most of you don't even know what Lysol is. To be honest, I mean, if you cut yourself in the old days, you just filled that sink up with hot water and poured that Lysol in there and stuck your hand in it. And
Yeah.
that will clean it up really good.
Mhm.
Nowadays, nobody would even think of doing such thing. We didn't run to the hospital every time we got a cut or something. It's like nowadays, a kid sniffles and off to the emergency room we take him. My son says I have the most amazing immune system he ever saw, man. I don't need no vaccine for anything, man. I grew up, man. I had it all growing up.
Well,
My
Ed, let's
immune
go.
system was
You
strong.
are. You're like the Energizer Bunny.
I know. But it shows you your 30-day profits, how much it made. And hey, this is crummy. This is a crummy 30 days. It is what it is. It's the market. People and we've been watching the last few months. The market's been really bad, but it's if you think about bad, I'm taking profits. One guy said his coins are down 80%, but he noticed his account value is only down 30%. That's because he
Mhm.
took 50% in profits. And
Yeah,
that's
we know
all
where
these
we're going in
profits
the
add
end.
up. This
Yeah.
holds your account value up, this constant taking of profits. And the longer you run, the bigger this number gets because this closed positions is a number that just goes higher and higher and higher forever. It's like having a jar and just throwing
Yeah.
marbles in it every day. Watch how
Yeah.
that thing fills up. It has no choice but to fill up.
Hmm.
You can't deny it's real money. Now they can play games with this open positions P&L. That's just numbers going up and down. And lately it's been going down a lot, but I feel like, hey, that's a buying opportunity. You should see the text messages I get from people. They're so happy that this market is crashing like it is. And, I was actually worried a while ago when the market was going up too much, too fast, because all the new people coming in, they were buying a coin and then selling it, buying it and selling it, buying it and selling it. And I'm like, build some inventory, will you? You can't build inventory if it's just going straight up. But having a lot of inventory, 36 lots of GRT, I don't even care. Go to 40, go to 50, I don't care. It means nothing to me. All it means is I've got a lot of inventory. Why do you want a lot of inventory? Because if I've got a lot of inventory, picture each finger is one lot of buying, and you've accumulated that many. When the coin jumps big, you sell off a lot at once. And some of you, I recognize some of your faces. Um, you already heard me say this. If you only have one bag of potato chips on a shelf in a 7-Eleven and a school bus full of kids comes in, and you're only going to sell one bag of potato chips. That's all you own. But if you got 20 bags and a bunch of a school bus pulls in, you're going to sell 20 bags. The more you have, the more you make. And plus, the the stock market, I've been observing it now really closely for 4 years. The prices in the stock market move like this. They just kind of go up and down and wiggle along. They'll go down and stay down there for months, and but the cryptos, they jump around. I mean, L3 jumped. I mean, it went where I have it on this chart. I mean, how much is that? I mean, from 11 cents to 15 cents. I mean, what is that, a 50% jump? I
Hmm.
mean, in one day, I mean, how free money, and down is don't worry, and you notice they're all up and down lines, buy, sell, buy, buy, sell, buy, sell. The auto trader's gold for the crypto market. This is beautiful. Some people say I don't want to, should I slow down should I stop my trader from buying more when prices go lower? I'm like, no. Because the biggest money you're going to make is what you bought at the bottom. Because when that rockets up like that, every share you own below that peak right there, you just sold off. If you were carrying any, usually you're selling this stuff off. You're buying it like if you bought it down here and then it went up to there, you just sold that off. But you're buying, selling all along. I mean, look at all this free money. So even, anything that you didn't sell down here, you just sold off when it popped like that. I mean, look at that one, when it jumped like that. I mean, that's just free money, man. Actually, it's laughable, I laugh so hard when I see craziness like that, when I see the market do it. And how about this one here on 10/10, October 10th? I mean, I really was physically laughing when that thing dropped. I even put some manual orders in at the bottom. I couldn't resist it. I bought $5,000 or $10,000 more at the bottom. I said, "There's no way, man. That coin dropped like that. I got it." And I don't, all of you know, I don't do manual trading. I let the auto
Yeah.
trader handle it all. But I couldn't resist that. 30% drop like that in one day, load me up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it just sold it all off in the next few days. So it just didn't. It's just a joke. The whole market's an insult to humanity. Um,
Ed, let's look at the settings page. And I know there's a couple other, We have current
Okay.
profit saved. But yeah, I think that just people want to see, yeah, how it kind of works in the back end, what you
Well, all right. So
there.
that was the main trader screen. You see all your positions that you own up here. You see all your trades happening down here.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next on the main menu here, you can click on, select currencies, and you can see the currencies you're trading. And here I'm only trading one, two, three, four, five coins, and I'm not I'm not adding to advancers. Any of you, if you're not adding, if you're as long as you're selling your positions, you don't need to add while it's going up because you're selling it while it's going up. So
Mm-hmm.
you really don't need to have that one checked. So any one of you that if have that checked, I would uncheck it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're accumulating. Some people have like XRP and they're saying allow it to add, but don't sell it. Just let it buy and don't let it sell any off. Then see if you bought, let's say Bitcoin. If you bought it at 80 and it goes to 90, if you don't have add to advancer checked, you won't be adding anymore because decliners says add while it's going lower. So if you bought it at 80 and it goes to 88, like where it's at now, you'd have to check add to advancer so it could buy more at the higher price because you're not selling any off. But if you're selling it off while it's going higher, which you should be doing, I think all the people sitting on Bitcoin, that coin has been just sitting there in that range from 82 to 100 for 6 months. You could be making some money trading. Instead, so many people are just saying, I want to accumulate. I'm like, why? Trade it. Trade Bitcoin's the perfect coin to just trade it. Because it doesn't, it's not going to run. You're not going to get a 50% jump in Bitcoin overnight. Now these other coins you can get 100% jumps overnight. But Bitcoin's a slow mover. I wouldn't be. I don't own any coin that I'm not selling, that I don't have selling on. So uncheck. Leave that checked and uncheck that and just add to decliners. If it's going lower, I'll add more. If it goes higher, sell off the ones that I bought at lower prices. I don't need to be adding as it goes higher. And what if one coin moves faster than another? Like this one here has 161,000 already funds used. This one here only has 80,000, which means Dogecoin would have a lot of excess money to use still, whereas GRT would have less. But I can hit spread funds equally. When I click that, it divides up the remaining funds to each of the coins to give them
Mm-hmm.
all it borrows like it borrowed from this guy because he had a lot of excess money and spread it out to the ones that used more of their funds.
Yeah. And as far as picking which names to trade, some people ask about that. Then, Ed, if we have time a little bit later, we can look at the top trader
The
report,
highest trade count report.
the highest trade count report. There's a lot of tools Ed uses, puts to work all this data and information gathering and the back end of, programming and doing what he
Well,
does to put together some great reports too.
well,
Yeah.
it's just like if you were running a 7-Eleven, you want a report. If you were just opening a 7-Eleven for the first time, you don't know what to put on the shelves. You want the stuff that moves the most. That's what this report shows you, the highest trade counts report. And every month it comes out. Actually, the new one is going to come out in the next couple of days so that it'll have December's results in it. Right now, this one goes October, November, and it doesn't have December yet. In a couple of days, the new report comes out. And it's going to have that next month added. But you can see 1,485 trades. This lock-in just popped in last month to number one. This Swift and SPA have been number one and number two for over 6 months. They've been just going back and forth as the number one and number two coin. So, I mean, they move a lot. But, I mean, if I went to the bottom of the report, I mean, this is where you start getting into junk territory. These Bitcoin's all the way down there.
Mhm.
129 trades in a year versus 1,400 trades. I want to trade coins that move. Don't give me a coin that'll give me 2 trades in a month or
And this
four
is
trades. I
based
mean,
on
this
up
is a
or down
great
3%.
report.
Yeah.
This report's pure gold and it's on the website. Just go to the website and just click trade counts and
Mm-hmm.
it'll pop up this report and it'll show you this report. I mean, I
Yeah.
see a lot of people when they first come on board and they show me the coins they've been accumulating for the last 4 years, and all these coins are just in the gutter, and they were buying them at the top, and they're
Hmm.
just way down, and they're junk. I don't know what to do with them because it's like I don't want to wait for a 1 cent coin to go back to 10 cents to where you originally bought it.
Yeah, I should be
Whereas if
trading it that
I
whole
don't care
time.
if it's at one, if I'm getting a lot of trades, if I'm getting 1,000 trades a year, then it's okay, but not if I'm going to just sit on it.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's
So I
go
want
back
the
to,
coins at the top.
yeah.
But the next screen was the edit strategy. We only have, remember, the old system had 10 screens of settings. This one only has one screen. Now, you guys want to look at my settings. I know a lot of people like to do what I'm doing. I've set my profit goal to 5%. And the reason is I'm not in a hurry to give back the shares that they this is where the whales and BlackRock and all the big boys push the prices into the gutter so they could load up while and push all the little guys out. And it's working for the most part because I know it's scaring most people out. That's why 95% of the shares are owned by the big guys and the little guys own nothing, hardly anything. And so they're pushing it down, trying to get all the coins. They're literally trying to corner the crypto market. And they're doing it. They're doing what the Hunt brothers tried to do in 2010 when they tried to corner the silver market. But they're actually being successful with the crypto market because they have the public afraid of crypto, which blows my mind. It's the greatest money making opportunity of our life, and people are running scared. So so I feel like you pushed it all the way down to the bottom. I'm not going to give it back for 3% moves now. I want at least 5% minimum. So I raised my profit goal to 5%. Make sure the lots is equal funds on every trade. That way, remember what I said, I'm making the same amount up here and as down here. Profits per trade. If I'm doing equal funds, then I'm investing the same amount of money in every trade, regardless of where the price goes. If the price goes lower and I'm buying and I'm investing equal funds, which means I'm actually buying more shares at the lower price, as opposed to equal shares, which would you'd actually be investing less as the price goes lower. I mean, we're sitting at the bottom already. Equal funds is where to be. And a lot of people have changed this even to 5%. Add shares on price moves, add on 5% moves instead of 3%. I've seen three. I mean, I've seen five. I've seen profit goal. I've seen some people set it to 10% even. And they're just sitting here saying, hey, again, same philosophy as that I have. I don't need to give it back so fast. You want to, you went to they went to the bottom with the prices. See, we, the people, can't control the prices. That's BlackRock's job. That's the big boys' job. They can juggle these numbers wherever they want to juggle them. And watch when they're ready to start selling. And another thing that just happened, some of you may not know about a month ago, a bill got signed, or not a bill got signed. Bank of America just started telling their Merrill Lynch branch, that's the investment arm of Bank of America, they started telling them they can start offering ETFs, Bitcoin or Ethereum ETFs. I'm not sure which one,
Mhm.
but they can
Yeah.
start offering that to the clients. Funny, I was in Bank of America the other day and I mentioned that to the teller, and he said, "No, I never heard that." And I said, "Well, you see that sign right there? One of their cubes, one of their little offices inside Bank of America." I said, "See what it says, Merrill Lynch? Why don't you walk over there and talk to them instead of standing here telling me you don't know?"
Hmm.
You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
no customers in here. Why don't you walk over there and have a little chat with those guys instead of feeding me your BS, saying you don't trade cryptos? You do trade cryptos, liar.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing. Do I sound angry? I'm not angry.
And that's what I
I'm
tell
not
everybody. You're
angry.
very
It just
passionate.
blows my mind that the lies that they're preaching to the public. And I
Yeah.
feel bad for the public because their eyes are closed and they're going to
Mhm.
miss the biggest money making opportunity of our generation, of our life. You're never going to have an opportunity like these cryptos again. And yeah, it feels bad while things are going lower. People go, oh, I'm losing. Everybody can talk like a big shot, like cryptos are junk, cryptos are going out of business. No, they're not. The big companies have invested trillions of dollars into the crypto space. I mean, there is so much investment in cryptos all over the world. Cryptos are not going away. Quit thinking that. But it's easy to talk like a big shot, like, oh, cryptos aren't even real. While cryptos are down, watch when they're up. Everybody, this is the same talk I heard all the way back in 2001 when the stock market crashed. All the naysayers come out of the woodwork and go, yeah, stocks are garbage. Now look where they're at. Microsoft went from 30 to 500. I don't want to, and all the stocks went rocketed, you know. That's how, it's easy to talk bad about cryptos. Fine, it's your loss. Anybody that doesn't think cryptos are the greatest thing in the history of the world, the opportunity we have now, it's like buying Gillette for a penny in the 40s. What an unbelievable opportunity we have. And watch when that market changes from the 4-year downtrend that it's been on to an uptrend.
Mm,
Watch when that uptrend starts, because we're not going to sit here and just keep going lower and lower and lower forever. Watch when that turns, because think of it again. If I lose, what am I losing? A few $1,000? Who cares? How much is BlackRock losing? How much is Fidelity losing? How much is Vanguard losing? Billions of dollars. That's what they're losing. They are going to get hammered if the cryptos aren't real. Trump's
yeah.
got $7 billion worth of crypto and he's in charge of the whole thing. You don't think he's going to let this thing crash? Wait till
Yeah.
he gets his Fed chairman in that he wants.
Well, let's talk about that. I love this trade window. This is a big part of the money management piece here that I want people to understand is,
Well, yeah, it invests. It's saying right here, expected trade window is 100%. What that means is no matter where the coin goes, you're still going to be trading. You never run out of money. See this expected trading window add down to 100% price drop. So, I mean, I've got this big screen TV here in front of me. It's not on though, right? I look at it as if I went in at the top, I'm covered all the way to the bottom. It doesn't matter where the prices go. It's just ignore it.
mhm.
Just
it
ignore it. It's just volatility. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Nobody else does this.
that's
Even like
actually what
TD Ameritrade called me in 2006 and said, "Will you
Mhm.
connect your auto traders to us so our clients can use it?" That's a heck of an ego thing. I'm patting myself on the back on that one. Because I mean, when a big broker like that calls you out of the blue and says, "Will you connect your auto trader to us?" I'm like, "How do you even know me? Why are you calling me?" And he said, his answer was so profound. He goes, "You're real."
It's so
And I
true.
said, "You're right, I am real." Because everybody else isn't real. They're just creating these trading systems. I don't want to name names because I don't want to mention other people's names, other companies, but that have been in business for years. They're just junk. What do you want to do? Sit in front of 6 monitors and try to guess? And then what does that mean? Even if you were to jump in at any time, do you know when to add more? Do you know how to manage your money? Because money management and risk management is the most important thing. Without that, you're just a gambler. Anybody can buy a coin at any time. What does that mean? You're
Yeah.
sitting in it. Now what? What
Yeah. So
happens if it goes lower? Did you already put all your money in at the top and now you're broke when it goes lower?
that's actually one of the things people say the most when they get started, right, Ed, is that, why isn't it putting more money to work? Because it's
I get
spreading
that
it
every
out.
day.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
I
So
get
it's
that
very,
every day.
yeah, it just is
Every
that's part
day
of the risk
somebody asks me
management.
that. How
Hmm.
do I make my auto trader put more money in with every trade? And I'm like, if you put all your money in at the top, you're going to be broke when it goes lower, and
Right.
then you won't
You
be
can
able to
shrink the
trade.
trade window, but that's a lot more risk you're taking on. So we could talk about that.
I mean, I don't mind taking those kind of risks if you really feel like taking them later on when the market's
Yeah.
actually on an uptrend. But on a
Yeah.
downtrend, I wouldn't be trying to force it to trade more to try
Yeah.
to get all your money in at the top. People that have done that over the months have just got hammered.
Yeah.
Those are the people who call me up a few months later and say, "How come my auto trader's not trading?" Well, because you used up all your money at the top. Their trading window. See how my trading window is 100%, expected trading window 100%. People have lowered their trading window to things like 60%, 63%. or even
Mhm.
worse than that, 9%. I saw one person with that, or 3 times 10 lots, 30% trading window. Then the coins drop 70% and they're just dead. They ran out of money on a 30% drop and the
Yeah.
coin dropped 70%. Now it's down here. They don't have any more money to put in here. And then it was
Yeah.
amazing because I sent somebody email and I tell them, you have a few choices here. One of them is throw more money into your account. And I read on Facebook somebody made a comment that anybody that tells you to put more money into your crypto is a scammer and all. A scammer, I'm just telling you the reality. I mean, all right, then don't trade.
Hmm.
You use up all your money at the top. Don't blame me. I'm not benefiting from you putting more money into your account. I mean, the
Yeah.
fact is, if you would just leave the default was 25 lots. 3 times 25 is a 75% trading window when you sign up.
Hmm.
75% from the day you sign up, from the day you put in your first dollar, you're
Hmm.
covered down to a 75% drop. If you just leave that alone, you're fine.
Yeah.
Leave the
Yeah.
default settings alone. Some people say, I don't know anything about cryptos and investing and all. I'm like, yeah, you're the perfect person for this. The person who thinks he knows too much is the guy is gonna string himself up. He's the
Right.
guy that's gonna go in here and start changing all the settings. And sometimes they'll make changes to some of these settings, and I'll wonder why
Mhm.
would he change that?
So
I
Ed,
mean,
let's
what
look
would
at,
be the purpose of changing a setting that you don't even know what it is?
yeah,
I'm
let's look
always,
at the,
this is a therapy session for me, right?
I
You
know,
guys
I
know that
know.
already. I try to get it off. I got to get this stuff off my chest.
Right, right. Well, let's look at the top trader report and give everybody that idea and start thinking about your questions, you guys. And there's a couple in the chat we can get to, Ed, and then I'll have everybody in mute. And if there's anything you want to ask or raise your hand, you're welcome to do that. But I'm thinking not the highest trade counts, but the top trader report, just to
Oh, the
give
top
folks.
trader. This is,
Yeah, and before we look, that just gives everybody an because everybody does always ask about returns, and returns that's never guaranteed. Past performance doesn't guarantee future performance. All the stuff it just but this gives you an idea, and you can always click to view details of what these auto traders are trading, and also Ed. I know Ed removes all the 6 and 7 figure accounts out of here because there's a lot of those, and he doesn't want people to think they have to have that much money to trade. He
well, I
wants the
used to
more
get comments
representative.
like
Yeah.
people like would say, "Oh, this is what I need $1 million to use this system." I'm like, no, so I took all those guys off.
Yeah, so this is
You don't see my account on this screen,
and this is
and then I
nobody.
also got rid of anyone doing manual
Yeah.
trades because then you
Yes.
manipulated it.
Hmm.
So these are all live trades, fully automated, and without anybody touching anything. This shows the two most important things: how much they started with 1 year ago and how much profits they took. Because that's the most important thing. 284% return. This guy started with $5,100 a year ago. He took $8,251 of profits. That's 162% return. Where do you get returns like this? You can't go to a bank and put money in there and get anything. It's junk returns. They will give you 1% or 3% or something. I mean, we do that at least every month minimum. That would be 12. 3 times 12 is 36% a year. Even that's,
Hmm.
even 3% a month, and we do better than that. This guy started with 13,000, made 20,000 in profits, and that's 150% return. Now, someone asked, well, you showed us the top 50 traders. I mean, I always like to talk about the negative stuff that I hear, and said, well, why don't you show me the bottom 50? And I'm like, well, the bottom 50 are going to be people that mess with their traders, that mess with all the settings. Because if you just leave it alone, you'll do fine. It's the some people, you'd be surprised how many people go in and change stuff for some reason, without calling me. Call me and let's talk. I'll help you. I spend time, I mean, if I look at my pad here, I mean, I've got, I helped somebody just the other day. He had all these coins. I don't know if you can see. He had all these coins in his account, and we tell people 3 to 5 coins is all you should have. And then it was like trying to figure out how do we get rid of all these? And we figured out, well, let's find the top five. You notice over here in this corner here, we put what are the top five of the coins he's already trading, and let's just whittle it down to those. Try to clean up the account because he's sitting on all this junk, that he's been accumulating for years. I'm like, dump all that garbage and just get it to the ones that move the most. If you're running a 7-Eleven, you want monster drinks, you want vapes, you want candy, potato chips, that kind of stuff. You don't want band-aids, I mean, you're going to have band-aids. I went to buy band-aids one time. I searched that 7-Eleven up and down. I could not find them. Finally, I went up to the counter. I said, "You guys sell band-aids here?" He goes, "Yeah, you see the end of that aisle right on the end, right there at the top?" I'm
Yeah, they're
like,
there.
I mean, it was unbelievable. He had them hidden right there. There's a little bitty spot, because they're not selling very many band-aids. Um,
So, Ed, everybody always wants to know too where you see crypto going in 2026. But yeah, let's look at the details screen. We can take a look so
yeah,
people
you
know
can
they
click
can
on the
view
view
details.
details and you can see what coins they're trading. This guy's got 6 coins. We say 3 to 5 is the best number, but he's got 6. Um, he has allow buys checked, allow sells checked on all of them. And here, these are the things that I talk about. He's adding on 3% profit goals. Um, or he's selling on 3% profit goals. He's adding on 3% drops for 25 lots deep. Max lots allowed. If you're adding on 3% drops and you do that 25 times, then that's a 75% drop. Now, this is important also. You're not, that 3% that you're adding on is not based on the last buy. Because if the price is going lower, a 3% drop of a diminishing price would be smaller and smaller drops. It's based on the top lot that you first bought so that you can divide it equally 25 times. Take that number and divide the whole thing by 25 and say that's the number. Because you noticed in my screen here, I clicked on one of these, maybe it was GRT, or, well, let's just look at Swift. I'm going to try to go to the top of that one. I just want to show you this. That's showing 18% drop. It's dropped 18%, but yet it still hasn't gone down. It's got to go to I bought at 3985 and it's got to go to 3614. I don't know if you saw that. But anyways, so it knows what that number is, and it's telling you what the number is. Because sometimes somebody would say, well, I'm adding on 5% drops. How come the coin's down 18% and I haven't added yet? Because it's basing it on this number up here, not the fact that this one lot is down 18%. So
Mhm.
that math it's a lot of crazy math in the software.
Yeah.
Um,
Ed, is there a report, while we're here, and that there's a question within our account that can run that shows our annual profit returns like that report was showing on the top trader report? Karen is asking. She has the auto trader.
you do have, let me see if it's in my report here. You have a thing called trade reports.
Mm-hmm.
See, this one here is the one I use this for development. And I don't have everything. I've been working on this operations screen, which is way cool, man. I love this. Anyways, that's under my screen. Um, but you have a trade reports link under your menu. And it'll show you all your trades. And like if you're doing manual trades at the exchange, the software will show that. It'll show
Mm-hmm.
that that position was not purchased by the auto trader.
Mm-hmm.
It'll have an N for was it bought or sold. It'll have an N or a Y. Look at your trade reports under your menu,
Yeah.
and you can see a lot of stuff. It shows your account value every day by day from the first day you started starting from the bottom, what your account
Mhm.
value was, your cash value.
And the
So
account
I can
value pulls,
see, you can see if you took money out,
yeah.
like sometimes someone will take 5 or 10,000 out of the account,
But I want to
and you'll,
clarify
you'll
to
see it.
everybody real quick and too that the account value is everything in your Coinbase account. So this is an API with Coinbase or Kraken. So you may have Ed might have 100,000 that he owns in Bitcoin that he's not trading, that's just sitting there in Bitcoin. So the auto trader might actually be trading 490,000, but it says 590 is the account value because it's going to pull everything from your Coinbase account. So just so you
Right.
know, when you're doing your calculations on return, just to know that and you'll see these positions, everything that you see here will be, well, as far as the
Well,
positions
here's a
and
return.
transactions in Coinbase.
Some people
Yeah.
don't look at returns the way I do.
Yeah.
I look at returns like here. This is the total
Profit.
profits the robotic trader took.
Hmm. Yeah.
And,
Just looking at profits.
and you can divide that by your account value, by what your account value was when you started. And that's, to me, that's your return,
Hmm.
because I care about the profits taken, not the fact that a coin is lower, because that's just a manipulated price going up and down. That really doesn't, you didn't sell anything at a loss. So you just, you know, somebody the other day sold everything and then I had to help her put it all back.
Mm.
Rebuy it.
Yeah, someone else was asking in the chat, Ed, if you could switch your tokens or if they were defaulted, if you couldn't change them once you selected them. And I told her you could, but it's not recommended. If you hold positions at a higher price, you'd be taking a loss, and that would be,
Some
you know,
people want to do that. Someone will
yeah.
say, and I've heard people say it, someone will say, well, these coins aren't moving enough, so I'm going to stop trading this coin, like this coin, and I'm going to add another coin down here. The problem is when you add this other coin down here, it's because you think it's moving a lot. It'll quit moving. And then and the problem with then is if you stop trading a coin, you get what I call a coin will drop while you're not trading it and it'll go down to here 20% lower and you didn't buy it along the way. So now it's wiggling, but you're not making any money because you're not trading it anymore. The auto trader makes its money off the wiggles. It doesn't make its money off the fact that a price is going to a new high. That's what makes the auto trader profitable is the fact that in a down market is because it's making money on the wiggles, not depending on a coin going higher. Everybody that got in the crypto market 4 years ago, if they were buying holders, they're just dead. They're all underwater. And that's why nobody's in the crypto market. They're all running scared. I walked over, I was at a UPS store. I walked up and, I'm very vocal. As I'm walking up to the guy behind the counter, I said, so, how's your cryptos doing? I like to just throw that out there and see what people say. And he goes, oh man, my father lost everything, man. I don't go anywhere near crypto. And I said, whoa, what did he do? And he said, well, he bought Bitcoin at 60,000. It went down to 30,000 and then he sold it.
Mm.
Ouch. So
Yeah.
he did that. I didn't tell him. I didn't want to tell him that your dad did something really not smart because he just, and then it rocketed from 30,000 to 120, and it's like you shouldn't have done that. He needed an auto trader, but I can't tell people that because I'm the creator. They think I'm trying to peddle auto traders. It's like I don't care if you buy it or not. Don't. As a matter of fact, when I'm in everywhere I go, I mention crypto. If I'm in line at a store, I believe me, I'm talking to the person in front of me and behind me. We're talking about crypto everywhere I go. If they don't ask me what company or what website, I won't even mention Go Baby Trade. It's like, fine, don't. If you don't ask, I'm not going to tell you. So then we just walk away. And then they should have, every after listening to everything I said, if they don't even say what is there a website or anything, if they don't mention it, then I won't mention it either. I don't care. You don't care, I don't care. I just love talking about cryptos. I love to hear what people have to say about crypto. If like I'm in Quest Diagnostics, the blood work place, everybody's sitting there all quiet. One time I said, hey, I saw a lot of guys in there, and I said, As veterans, man, did I light up that room. Veterans love talking about their time in the military. Oh yeah, I was in the Navy, I was in the Air Force, and they all started talking. But sometimes I'll say, hey, anybody want to talk crypto? And then
Mhm.
everybody like starts looking the other way. Nobody wants to talk crypto. You know,
Yeah.
a couple of times
Well,
they all just start laughing, and then I laugh along with them. Ha ha, yeah, it's funny. Wow, they are out of it, man.
yeah,
Anyways,
it is.
questions. Let's go to some Q&A, man. I
Yeah.
want to hear the negative stuff. I want to hear the stuff people are worried about. Let's talk about it. Because I'm all in, man. I run 4 auto traders, so Francine you run a few, don't you?
No, my goal is to get a lot more into my to my one, that's
Oh,
for
all right.
sure.
I thought you ran a couple. I know
But
other people run a few auto traders.
the
If I
thing,
was going to add more, that's why I run 4 auto traders because like I ran one where I just created one where I just grabbed the top 4 coin or 5 coins off the list right there, like, and put 20% in each coin. Boom. Whatever those 5 were at the time, a few months ago. I just grabbed the top 5 coins. I didn't even think about it. To me, I don't care what they do. Some people don't like meme coins. All right, if I didn't want to do that, I would go here. I could say, okay, I'll grab Swift, SPA, skip over these memes, go down to the next utility, and grab PRCL, that's number 3, XCN number 4, AST number 5. You know, I just want stuff that moves a lot, man. I just want stuff that moves a lot. That's going to give me the most trades. Because when I talk about 1,148 trades in a year, that's 1,140. Every trade is a profitable trade. So there's no losing trades here. Every trade, the auto trader does not sell at a loss.
yeah.
Then you just have to
Um,
make sure that each of those coins I just mentioned trades at whatever exchange you're at. Like if I'm at
mhm.
Coinbase. So Kraken, there's only one here, number 4, FWOG, that's Kraken, only at Kraken, not at Coinbase. A bunch of
Mhm.
these of the number 1 coin is only at, so I couldn't trade lock in because that's at Kraken only and all my accounts are at Coinbase. Coinbase is easy because you only have to open up one Coinbase account and then create portfolios. So I can create
Mhm.
4 separate portfolios inside my Coinbase account and create 4 different APIs pointing to each one.
Yeah.
So 4 different auto traders trading it. I have some people with, like 4 or 5 auto traders, husband, wife, and one for each kid.
Right.
I got one whole family with 19 people in their family,
Oh my
cousins and
gosh.
everything. I mean, that whole family is all on board. And they live in Vegas, so I got to watch it. They come knocking at my door if they're mad at me.
Right? That's hilarious.
Nobody
Hey,
seems to be mad at me. It's okay, hold your.
yeah,
It is
yeah,
what it is. Just relax.
what it is.
People are
Yeah.
taking it. When we have a down day, people freak out. Some people, and I'm like,
Right.
take it easy, man. It's just numbers
Hey,
going up and down.
Ed, here's another good question we get in the chat. What is the minimum investment you would recommend for trading once they get
Well,
good?
my feeling, I have a different feeling about it. My feeling is there is no minimum. I mean, I can see here some people trading these guys here $163, $200. Um, but 5,000 is a good number if I really, if you really get down to it. But 2,500, you
Hmm.
know, I help a few younger people a few years ago that, started with $500 and then just added $100 a month,
Hmm.
and then the auto trader just started building it up, trying to
Right.
double it. And in a few years, they're into the thousands and
Yeah.
holding their own. Of course, you can't tell that to my nieces and nephews. They act like they're broke if they got $500. And I'm like, well,
Everybody's always
you'll be broke forever with that attitude, because you're just going to blow that 500 when you could have put it in an auto trader and started. You know what I mean? But they're young. They think they got a long time. They don't realize how fast life goes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's address Glenn's question that he had in the chat really quick, Ed, because
Yeah,
everybody
Glenn.
asks this is just that, like, where do you see markets going 2026? There is a lot of fear out there right now. Like, what's going to turn this market? What's going to switch the whales from pressuring everything? When are we going to? I mean, like I always say, we don't have a crystal ball. I would have thought that that would have happened already, but something,
No.
we never know. But what are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are I'm kind of a conspiracy theorist. I've been watching the whales for years in the stock market. I see the games they play. Okay.
Mhm.
And like in 2008 when they pushed the bank stocks down to $1 and pushed how many people sold out, got margin calls and everything. And then they rocketed then the whales. Remember, anytime you're selling, there's a buyer on the other end. Who's doing all the buying? I don't see any buyers on the outside. Who's buying? If a coin's dropping and you're selling, who's buying? I'll tell you who's buying. BlackRock's buying. Trump's buying. They're loading up like crazy at these ridiculously, insultingly low prices.
But what's
So,
going to
and,
make
and,
it
and
turn if
auto
they're
traders are
loading up?
buying. Anyone that has an
Yeah.
auto trader is loading up more.
Yeah.
So I feel like when is it going to go up? I feel like we're right there. They're doing. Remember you had the crypto summit in the White House in last January or February. I don't remember what it was. As soon as they had that summit with those 25 multimillionaires that Trump gave marching orders to, he said, "Go out and remove all the regulations holding back this crypto market." The minute that summit happened, the crypto market started crashing. Instead of going up, it just went straight down. Why? And I feel like so all the big boys can load up. They're gonna pull out every trick they have in the book that they've been developing for years to drive everybody else out. And then when that FTX thing happened in I think it's FTX was that Bahamas uh,
Yeah.
exchange in the Bahamas when they robbed all that money.
Yeah.
And if a broker goes under, if an exchange goes under, and they go under all over the world. That's why I automated just Coinbase and Kraken, two U.S. based exchanges. But when a foreign exchange goes under, it just goes under and you lose your money because they skipped out. And what are you going to do if somebody in some other country goes under? But they had congressional hearings for that one in the Bahamas. You know why? Because the big boys were in that one and they were losing millions, 30 million, 50 million, 60 million. And that's when I learned a lot watching those congressional hearings and listening to one of those senators on there saying, cryptos aren't real, it's all smoke and mirrors. I'm like, you liar, you know you're lying. I couldn't believe he did that. But he did that for the public, to scare the public. Just another tactic to get the little guy out. Then
Mhm.
once everybody's out, now get the banks on board and get Merrill Lynch and all the other brokers start bringing them all back. When do you want them all back? After you run the coins into the ground and then start dry and you have accumulated a ton of crypto and start driving that price up. And once the price is starting to go up, that's when they're going to want the public to come in. And I watched, I can tell you what happens. Even today, I already got multiple signups today. Why? Because it's an up day. More people sign up on an up day. Okay? And
Interesting.
I can tell you that's a fact. And on down days, it's the signups are slower. I get lots of signups every day, but I can see the number it just jumps. Before I even wake up in the morning, boom, that number of signups already jumped. I could just look at the number of signups and know that we had an up day just because based on signups, because I know it's an up day because these coins are up. And that's how the market is. That's how the public is. They're easy. They're they can everybody will come rushing in. So the big boys have their strategy. And I've been watching them for years. I know the game and it's just my philosophy, but I've been watching them for 25 years. I see the game.
Yeah.
And I
Seasoned.
think I think this is going to be the year. I
Yeah.
think things are going to take off like crazy this year. They push these coins down as hard as they can. These coins are at record lows, man. I don't think ACH ever saw that price ever in history. I don't think GRT ever saw that price in history. There's no resistance to GRT going straight to 9 cents. It's sitting at 3.5 cents. It can go straight there. There's no resistance stopping it.
Right.
If you look
Well,
at the charts, it's just going to go straight to 9 cents. I don't
yeah.
know what's holding it down. It's
And
it's just going to pop, and
well,
there's
these
no
are real.
resistance along the way. You talk
They're
about support and resistance. There's nothing to stop it.
yeah, and
So
it's a
when they're
real
ready,
company.
it's just going to do it. And I just think all the and I watch and I watch the games they play. I watch like L3 when coins pop like this, when you get crazy pops in the coins, where I mean like that, 30% drop in one day, and then it just rocketed just about right back. Um, and then like that one there, when it does that 150% jump in one day, it's like
Mhm.
that they demonstrated what they can do already. They've already demonstrated they can push all these coins up like that. And
Mhm.
so when they're ready, then it'll happen.
Yeah.
But remember this, whatever you're down, you're at least holding you have inventory. And so when a pop does happen, you're ready for it. Think of the millions of people who aren't even in, and they're waiting for the market to go up before they even get in. They're going
Yeah.
to miss the boat completely. So I feel real good where I'm at. And so I feel like, and there's nothing wrong with the crypto market. These are multi-million-dollar companies. People have it all wrong, man. They act like these companies aren't even like somebody said, well, they're like penny stocks. I said, they're nothing like penny stocks. A penny stock in the stock market is a junk stock they have no revenue. These companies are making millions of dollars. I mean, what is GRT? GRT, I mean, they've got 70,000 companies using them. I mean, that's a huge company. I
Yeah.
mean, if they
Yeah.
went away, I don't even know what would happen. I don't know how to read, I don't know how to get data off the blockchain and store
Mhm.
data. And they're talking about all the stuff that they store on there, partial ownerships of buildings and stuff. They can slice it into pieces and store it
Yeah.
on the blockchain. And they're using GRT for all that data. As a programmer, you have to focus on what you know. Like when I'm sitting in the eye doctor's office and I look at their equipment, I'm looking at the software, I'm like, that is cool software, but it's not my area of expertise. I can't program that. So you have to pick what you're gonna do and go with it. You can't do it all. And the graph GRT has focused on blockchain, on retrieving data off the blockchain, storing data, and all the other companies are not experts at that. They can't get at the data. I don't know what would happen if GRT went out of business. People talk about, well, GRT's at this record low, and I'm like, yeah, and it shouldn't be there. And I know darn well it's not going out of business because if they went out of business, then you are talking about the end of crypto. Because man, who knows how to get to just to deal with the blockchain itself? You got it. That's another area of expertise that most people don't have. I don't have it, and thousands of like I said, they got 70,000 people was the last number I heard of
Yeah.
using them, use it for generating data and doing stuff, verifying trades and everything. And I mean, they
It's a
get
real
2
company.
billion hits a day on their databases. It's
Mhm.
like, who gets that? I mean, that's a huge company. It's like a
Yeah.
billion-dollar company. And you're sitting here talking about 3.5 cents? That's an insult. That's the whales loading up like crazy. And it's really they're able to get away with it because the public's asleep, because the public's not buying, because the public should be loading up on shares of that coin like crazy. I got 36 lots. I'm in no hurry for it to pop. Give me another
Mhm.
36 and then pop. The lower you go, the more I'm going to make when it does pop, because it's
Yeah.
going to pop. This whole crypto market's not going to sit here in a downtrend forever. We know that. Watch when that thing turns. Watch when it goes from that to that. Straight up.
So,
It's going to be beautiful. And I already know it. I've already been watching the stock market for 25 years. I see the game. I'm at peace with the world.
yeah,
And
me
those down
too.
days don't scare me a bit. And I love it when I watch my auto trader loading up.
Yeah,
When I see these, multiple days in a row where we're just buying a lot. It's like, go ahead. Look at that. I love that. That was nice. But then we have our up days and we sell it all, everything we
mhm,
bought, we sell. So
right.
it's just buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell, just like a 7-Eleven. You put product on the shelf and you sell it all off. What's nice about the crypto market is, like I said, it jumps around. The prices jump.
Yeah.
And they'll just jump up 50% in one day, and then as soon as it does that, the auto trader sells all that inventory it had, When
So,
ACH did that last January, when it went from 2.2 cents to 5.6 cents in 5 days. That was a
mhm,
man, and almost everybody owns ACH because that was the first coin I bought, and a
yeah.
lot of people trade what I'm trading. And so, I mean, literally, the auto traders sent tens of thousands of orders to Coinbase and Kraken to sell, to close in those profits. I thought for sure we were going to crash. I'm like, this is crazy. That's a lot of orders, man. But they held it. They did it. They were
Right.
able to sell it all off. And
Yeah, I
then
think it's
look where it went. It went to 5.6 cents, and now it's not under, it came back down again. It's like
yeah,
beautiful.
it's
We sold
crazy.
all that inventory, and then we slowly bought some of it back on the way back down. I'm good with it. Watch it
Yeah.
pop again, and I'll sell off a lot of that inventory again.
So Ed, Jeff is asking in the chat, what sort of daily, weekly, monthly reports can you get for your own viewing, of what is there? I know there's the daily report, right? We can talk about that comes out, but and the 1099 comes from Coinbase. He's just curious. When you get the report comes to you at the end of the day that shows, profits taken in your last 30 days. But outside of that, you have access in Coinbase or Kraken to all your transactions as well. And
But I don't see any reason to look at
yeah,
to be too worried about daily, weekly,
right. Mm-hmm.
because I mean the coins are only gonna whatever they're gonna do, they're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this coin's up 7% today. This one's up 6.35%. And how many times, do you see these coins just jump 100% in one day? It's all random.
Yeah.
It's just random, and nobody can predict it. There's no prediction. It's just understanding the software and understanding the concept of how it trades. You literally, and the disclaimer's out there, but in my opinion, you can't lose. The only way to lose is if you panic and sell your coins at a loss manually, or if the coin goes out of business. These coins, I've been trading them for years. ACH, Doge, GRT, and SHIB, 4 straight years. I only added Swift a couple months ago. And because it was number one on the highest trade count report. But then the market started just going straight down. But it's fine. It's been holding its own for months. And I'm not worried in the least. These are real companies with real products. They're not, in my opinion, they're not going away. And as long as they stay in business, they have to just keep paying me.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing is, I have a lot of confidence too. Something that adds to my confidence is the fact that I have some clients with multiple millions running, a 1.4 million in one Coinbase account, 1.4 million in a Kraken account. And I see people are confident. It's not like anybody's worried. And I got my you know my finger on the pulse, if you want to call it. I get phone calls, I get text messages, I get emails, and I know people are all okay. We're all okay. We're
Mm-hmm.
okay with the market. We're doing good, and we're holding our own. And the fact that this market is, I mean, Do you realize what happened with the crypto market is magnitudes more than what happened in the 2000 market crash, in the stock market crash? That stock market crash was nothing compared to what we're facing here with the crypto market. These coins are
Mhm.
in the gutter. This is ridiculous what they're doing. This isn't
Yeah.
just a one time we just went down. They've been driving this market down for 4 years straight. They've been just trying, the whales have been trying to accumulate. How did BlackRock get as many shares as it got? They've been just loading up like crazy, just like crazy. And then over the last few months, they've been just tanking this market 70% more on just over the last few months. Nobody drives the market down like that, especially when there's nothing but good news coming out of the crypto space.
And they
Just go
do
read
that,
the
Ed,
crypto
like you had
news.
ex and you they do that like you had explained before by stopping the buying that they've been doing and
That's
just
all they have to do because
yeah.
there's nobody out there. There's the public's not trading. The
Mhm.
public is sitting on the sideline panicking because all their coins are down, and then they just push the coins even lower, and they scare more people out. Wait till there's no more shares for them to buy, and then watch them rocket those prices up, and and I'm telling you, as soon as they do that, the public is like sheep. They will all come running in. Watch when these coins start jumping, when
Yeah.
you start getting 150% jumps in these coins, watch how fast the public comes rushing in to buy at much higher prices than where they're at. Watch when that game starts. And the public, they're so easily manipulated. It's crazy. I'm watching it. I'm just like I said, I can tell you whether I'm having whether we're what the whether I'm having an up day or down day just by the number of people signing up. Everybody wants to rush in on an up day. It's like, why didn't you rush in yesterday?
Yeah.
Yesterday was a
That's
beautiful
true.
down day. Some people did. I helped two people, get their API connection set up. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, how come we didn't get 30 people signing up yesterday? Why did they wait for today on an up day? I don't get it.
It's
I'm
human
the
nature. It's like just how we are. But yeah, it is a reprogramming of how we're thinking about things. It really is, Ed. So thank you
It's a
for
deprogramming
sharing.
thing,
Yeah,
and this
it
is
is.
like I've told you before, this is a therapy session for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I know.
It feels good to get it off my chest,
Yeah.
every week.
Yeah. Well, are there any other questions? I want to be respectful of everybody's time and just yeah, raise your hand. Where some people are having to hop off, Ed. That's totally
And
fine. But if
well,
anybody
before
wants
they
to
hop
unmute,
off,
yeah.
before
I
they hop
shared my
off,
link in the chat too that someone asked about the fees, and I explained we don't charge. There's no fees at all except for the 3-year subscription. So the discount link is in the chat, and reach out, help you get your
okay.
API connected if you want or have any questions. I put my number in there for WhatsApp
What
and
is what is the
super
sign up
simple.
link? Is it a Go Baby Trade?
Yeah, it's just gobabytrade.com/impact earnings.
And
So
oh, right there, impact earnings.
yep. So everybody
Okay.
has that.
And
And
then and another thing, we don't leave anybody hanging. If anybody has any problems, any issues,
yep.
like a guy yesterday had trouble with his API, he couldn't, even though, there's videos and all that there, but, it was his computer. It really wasn't anything he did
Yeah.
wrong. But we help. I'll connect to your computer. So many people, when I connect to them, they say, "Are you Ed?" When they say, "What is my name?" and I tell them Ed Barsano, you're like, "You mean you're Ed Barsano, the creator?" I'm so honored. It's like I tell them, "I
Yeah.
know this is a great honor for you." I'm
Yeah, so
joking,
Ed and the team make,
but I love it. I
support
like
is
helping everybody. This
the
is what I
support is
do.
great.
I
And
don't
it's
know
what
what other people did on the the night before the Christmas or what New Year's Eve. I was just helping people all the way till 10 o'clock last night.
yeah. And I help folks as well get started. You guys have my information to reach out as well. It's a pretty simple process. And Ed, it amazes me too because it's you and your son and just maybe a handful, a couple extra support people, and that you guys of the thousands of clients don't have your phone ringing off the hook with problems. So there's never been like one day in a million years because of some Microsoft upgrade glitch that have you ever had a down time? And it's hard for me to
No, we're
comprehend with
pretty
all
good.
those people. You don't need like a huge support team, but it just is smoothly operating in the background. It really is a testament
Well,
to
if a
what
server
he's doing.
crashes, other servers automatically get
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
traders that were running on that server within 10 minutes. They
Mhm.
all, other servers pick up all those traders and start running them.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so that's why you're able to just hop on and help out, and yeah, it's awesome. So thank you everybody. Let me just double check the chat. There's no
Thanks a
last minute
lot. Thanks for
questions.
inviting me.
Unmute.
I love
Yeah.
love doing the webinar.
I know you do. I love it too. And I know this is a passion for you. You don't need to be selling auto traders, but you love it and you care about people. So thank you, Ed, so much for being here.
What I do with retirement.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Better than sitting around. Some people go golfing, some go fishing, some go camping. I go auto trading.
You go programming and auto trading. That's right. And you get to
I'm
work
doing
with
what
your
I
son.
love. You know,
Yeah.
it's I can't imagine. I mean, it's just so much fun
Well,
programming.
somebody did ask if your son was ever gonna, I think that was you, Glenn. Do we ever get to meet Stephen? Would he come on to Zoom?
I
Yeah.
don't know. It's on him. You know,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
helps. No, but he helps a lot of people on the phones.
Yeah, he does. He definitely does. It's awesome. You get to work with your son. It's pretty sweet. All right, guys. Well, I don't see any
All
other
right.
questions, Ed. So let's wrap it up. And thank you again. Thanks everybody for taking time on New Year's Day.
Go Navy. Go Navy.
Yes. Go Navy. Happy 2026. And we'll chat soon. I'll send the recording so everybody has it and we'll connect.
Thanks, Terrence. Good to see
Yes.
you again.
Thanks, Terrence. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.